this YouTube video. That's one of the main reasons why I created this video, or this channel, I should say, to go through the patterns and show that an average knitter like myself, because yes, I'm pretty much knit, purl, simple stitches. If I can do it, then you can do it also. That's the main reason why I created this channel. But also, if you come across this video, you can use this as a reason to pick up your sticks and knit along if you need motivation to start knitting either again or going through a pattern that you have, and when you're in your scrolling or looking for something to just cleanse your mind and you want to watch my fingers calmly go through and create these stitches to help you relax, by all means. Or if you want to just pick up something new from whatever it is that I'm doing that will help you in your own knit pattern, or understanding how to perform a particular stitch, then go right ahead. Come on and I'll keep the lights on for you, and you're always welcome. Or even if you have a question, I don't really check YouTube like that. This is more of an outlet for me, and I am opening up the door to those who may also need just a place to go. So here I am, I'm at a spot where I need to switch colors in this intarsia knit. So this isn't one of those where you do it in the round and all you would probably do is just knit and pick up from behind. Being that this is a blanket, you have to go back and forth. You knit across one way and then you purl across, but you do need to keep in pattern and pick up stitches accordingly. So for me, I typically pick up my stitch this way underneath and go over into whatever the stitch is that's required. This will make sure that the potential space you would have if you were to just drop one yarn and pick up the other without wrapping them together would show, I mean. So by doing this, right, I was knitting the white one, and you see how they're separate. If I was just to simply go into the gray here, there would be a space that you would notice later on in the pattern. But what I am doing is I am wrapping it around. Instead of having it under, I'm wrapping it around. And some people would say, oh, you don't necessarily need to do that because they're so close together. But I do it because when I'm looking at my patterns later on, I am the worst critic of my own work. I am not, as you can see, the smoothest knitter. You know, some people, when you watch them in social media or even in real life, they just look so graceful with the knitting. You're like, oh my gosh, I am not that graceful. Or maybe it's a video edit, or maybe, I don't know. But anyway, from all the things that I've seen, I am nowhere near graceful, but I do critique my work very in a harsh light. So that is why I make sure to wrap when I switch the colors in that way, because I have seen when it's not wrapped, in some instances it's okay, in other instances not so much. And I don't know if that's because, you know, like when you know something is there, you look directly in that spot because you know it's there, and it makes it seem more magnified to you. Maybe that's it, but I am super critical of my work, and I see every single flaw. And I have a lot of flaws in this pattern already, but this is helping me to, how do you say, fix the kinks in my pattern, so that when you or somebody picks this up, goes to perform or create the blanket from the pattern that I write, they won't have the same difficulties because I've already conquered them, right? Right. So you may be wondering, as I'm knitting through this, what these markers are here for. The markers are there to line up with the pattern that I have so that it's easier to follow along as you do the increases and decreases in color to create the design. But as I'm doing this, yes, markers should be there, I think, for this elephant. But I also know now that I'll probably need to blow the elephant up and not just do it on one page, but in my pattern book, probably do it on 2 pages. So for those who aren't very comfortable with reading patterns, will be able to see where they are from a stitch perspective. I'm very visual, so I tend to look at the overall row after I do my setup row, where I would say, okay, when I get to this next stitch, I either keep it the same or I switch to a color, so I don't follow along directly each stitch that I make with the pattern. I'll look at the row, I'll see what it is, and know that, okay, I decrease or I increase at this mark or this marker, so that it helps me to move a little faster through the pattern. Like on this row, I know that when I get here, I need to go and add. When I get here, I need to go and do that stitch, not in white or the matching color, but gray, because the design is developing and being revealed as I go through the pattern, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. But everybody can do it different. Some people like it written out. I'm not going to write out knit 53 in this color and then switch to another. I don't think that that adds value. And here I am again where I need to switch to the stitch. So instead of just dropping this and picking this one up, which would leave a space, I take it from underneath, right? And I bring it around. So let me try and show that a little bit better. This would be the gap that you would see later on. But instead of just picking up this one here directly below the stitch, I'm bringing it under the stitch that I have, right? And then I am going to perform the knit that's necessary. And then here I am again where I now, because the gray is so close, I'm not going to switch back this way. I'm going to continue to move it along this way, because when I get to the white, I am going to wrap it again, and this will allow for it to close up that loop, right? And that's pretty much it. I'm not doing any more gray, but I'm going to continue with my white to the end. And I hope that helps you if you get this baby boy elephant pattern to understand how I was able to keep the gaps out of the pattern as I switch through. And this is called intarsia, where you don't carry the colors all the way across. You drop one and you pick up the next one and continue. And when you do this, sometimes if there are colors within the body of the pattern, and when it's not large sections of the work that's one color, you will probably need to have smaller balls of color in between or throughout the row that you would add on to make life easier for you and minimize the tangling. But a lot of the things that I create from a blanket perspective, if it is a lot of little color highlights throughout, I like to do duplicate stitch, and I'll show that in a different video when I actually get to it. But for the most part, the things I choose to turn into a blanket pattern, I aim to have big bodies and few colors in the pattern, so that you don't have to go through that tangle and untangle web that occurs when you go through dealing with intarsia, right? Okay, so